Hey everyone, it's Wolfram here. I'm going to do a live look at Faction Wargames. As you see, I've already been playing it a fair bit. I've got some views about it. It's I don't think it's overly complicated. It's a good bit of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops. Of course, as you go in, you can't choose which of these you play as, but you can choose whichever ships you want. So you're not bound by whichever faction you're given. I'll just show you that in a moment. Skill points matter, so if you're skilled at various things, it does appear to have an impact. It's not quite the same, but there must be some sort of calculation going behind it. So you can see I'm Galente, and I actually do like playing as Galente. I'm going to show you your different ships. You've got a scout, which is actually the bomber. That's what you're going to use to attack the haulers. You're pretty much useless against anything else. Choices as to your frigates, and then destroyers, which, well, they suck. But yeah, let's. I've got the best skills in my Hound. I'm going to confirm. So as you can see, I can change the ship choices by just changing which. So I can play as a Hound even though I'm Galente, which is fine. My job here is to destroy the haulers. I am absolutely useless against pretty much everything else. So my job is to destroy the haulers. Now, these frigates really should be a mixture of putting some DPS onto haulers, maybe, if you're trying to steal the last damage kill. But it's to control and keep people off me. And the important thing is going to be is that I going to go in. So people are saying attack D, so that's fine. We'll attack D. I'm going to warp to 30 because I do my max DPS in bombardment mode.
Warp drive active.
And that gives me a missile range of almost 40 on the torpedoes. It's a bit zoomed in for my liking. Let's zoom a bit out. So here we go. We're attacking D. There's the hauler. It's inside missile range. Just going to lock it on. There you go, bombardment mode. And then I'm going to stagger my missiles. And the reason you do that is because it's the last hit that matters, not the amount of DPS anyone does to it. So all I'm interested in is doing my last hits, and as you see, I'm doing 556 hits per chunk, and compared to the other frigates, they can't compare to the amount of damage that I can do as a bomber. So you should have, in my view, a decent mix of some bombers who prioritise the haulers, and then the frigates are keeping any enemy team off them. I'm going to put the ballistic on. But also this means it increases my chance by doing it alternating of getting the last hit. Because if I get the last hit, I get the points. Obviously I get points for helping out, but you also get more points for getting kills, which is what I want to get in order to level up quickly. So all I need to do is sit here. Doesn't matter if I'm closer, because they're missiles. So this is what I'm going to do. The other team have already taken down theirs, so I reckon they've probably got more bombers than we have. They're going to warp in. I'm actually going to warp out. So as I said, I can't engage in this battle. It's not. I can't help, because these missiles do like next to nothing against the frigates. And if I die, there's a 30-second respawn, which if early on is fine, but what you don't want to do is die and then be late in to a hauler, because then they're missing your DPS on the hauler. So my view is this role here is simply your job is to hit the haulers. So I'm out at 100, so I want to take off bombardment mode in case I've got to move. That's straightforward. That's what the bombers do, and I'll show you in a moment. If I'm flying as a frigate, I will fly interference with bombers, still applying DPS in the right circumstances. I think that's got a bit more of a mix. That's a thrasher that's come in miles away. So there is going to be someone here. So I've got a Nemesis So they should be helping. This lincursus should be taking that flasher down. Lock them up anyway, let's see what's happening. And again, see, the frigates should be targeting that bomber. Hit stop, turn that off. Bombardment mode, single painter. Remember, I'm not bothered by the other ships. I'm just going to bombard. Yeah, see, we've got a good frigate here, peeled off to take on the Cormorant. The key is to get these ships down so they don't get the last hit. He's targeting me. Well, see what happens. I've got enough teammates here. So I've got the assist there. Let's warp to C again. I'm going to warp her to 35. So they took D down. We've done well actually. We've taken 3 haulers. That's nice. That's a really good advantage to have now. The other team took. The other team took it. So again, we're just going to sit and wait. If I was in frigates, I don't mind. Sometimes I'll engage in the other fights, but these bombers just, yeah, they're no good for that. So again, staggering the missiles, keeping at range. I mean, these people might get on to me, but there's quite a decent fleet presence here. Nice. Take that off. Go to C. Okay, next haul is going to appear at B anyway. We've got a fleet here. I think it should be fine. That took a while for it to load, but we'll see. Well, that gets you in trouble. Nice, I got that hauler, and we're going for A. Again, it's in range already. Now I think it's going to be luck of the draw, whoever gets the last hit on this one. Ah, so we got it.
Docking
Nice.
request accepted.
Really good score. Oh no. 199. Sorry, I thought it was 300. I thought it was 300. Oh, so it gives you... Okay. That's not too bad. I mean, as a bomber, I've never done amazingly. Now I'm going to fly. As a frigate, I think this is the best option, certainly for my skills. So I'm heavily skilled in railguns. You can see that if you watch my 8-tron Miner Hunter video, which I've just recently put up. So with the snub nose railguns, I'm doing almost 300 DPS. The lincursus assault. Now these things are super tanky. I just don't see the point of the snub-nose 8-tron. It does more damage, but it's just so much weaker that I better confirm that I'm just not as fan of it as much. If you're going to use it, use this one to do a bit more kitey. But again, what I'm doing is, if I'm just part of the fleet and we're all there, I'll just be putting DPS onto the hauler. I will often go off and just try and distract the opposition fleet, especially if there's a 3-hauler situation. Let my fleet deal with the one, and then I just get myself in on top of the red fleet, who will take me down. But I slow them down long enough that we gain an advantage. So it's always just about. It's not just about surviving and getting all the kills. It's also about a bit of tactics. Let's go to B. I have no idea if that's where everyone went. Oh, we have disagreement as to where we're going.
Warp drive active.
So in this situation, I'm going to target these. Because what I want to get off this hauler is the DPS. As you can see, I've got an entire red fleet hitting on me. Yeah, they're going to take me down. That's pretty quick. But it's a pretty tanky ship. And crucially, it took their DPS off the hauler. So hopefully, we haven't destroyed ours yet. Hopefully we'll take it down. And either way, it slows them down. Whereas in the Hound, I would back off any fight.
Warp drive active.
I quite like taking a fight with the lincursus. It's good fun. Sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't. Nicely done.
Request accepted.
So the Breacher Assault is by far and away one of my favourite ones to use, even though I had DC, disconnects and all sorts. Semi-decent score, even with the disconnect. So yeah, others obviously clearly did better than me. So now we're going to try one of the kiting ships. Again, I'm going to use the Atrons, that's where I've got best skills in it. I don't think they're tanky enough, but effectively what you're going to do with it is attack these ships, attack any of these ships, any of the ships, and you just want to stay out of the scram web range. So it allows you to keep your micro warp drive on. Whereas in the others I don't use the micro warp drive except to close the gap. This one I am going to try and use the micro warp drive on. Not my favourite way of playing, but I mean frankly I just throw the lincursus assault in and just try and tank as much damage as I can. Okay, so decision made for D already. I'm going to warp in just slightly off. As you see, I've got
Warp drive
11k
active.
with a 10k fall off. I probably want to orbit about 15. If I remember these scrams, yeah. Let's reset the orbit. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to survive the initial assault. Right, I'm actually back. Got to adjust the settings because I think that's part of the problem. I'm going to carry on playing with this ship. I really don't like it. I wouldn't like any of them. I don't like. I think the lincursus assault's great because you can do everything this can, but you tank loads more. Whereas this just can't tank if everyone attacks you. That was my own fault equally, but it had been an lincursus assault. At least it lasted 10 seconds. So even though I can't even tank 3 ships.
Warp drive active.
So I'm back after another disconnect. Try and adjust my graphics to low. I mean, it shouldn't affect it. So those other players made mistakes. They shouldn't have sacrificed their ships at this point. Got haulers coming in. It's going to be 30 seconds. So the other team are going to be missing those players. So here I want to deal with the bombers. Maybe too late to do this. Yeah.
Docking request accepted.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I sucked at that. I mean, I did have the disconnects, but I just didn't feel I could get going with that ship. Not compared to some of these players who've done really well. Hey everyone, we're back and we're going to look at destroyers as just being the last one. I was looking at, they're terrible. I mean, I'm going to cover it. They're all terrible because they've got a Higgs anchor on them, which just ruins the velocity. And I don't get higher DPS, so I don't have skills in destroyers. So So I'm going to take out. I'll try the catalyst. This. But the problem is, there's everyone's got micro warps, which means everyone with scrams messes you up, so you can't retain any flight velocity. So as soon as they slow you down, you can't really do anything about it. And there's no counter in this mode. I mean, what you need is afterburners. Then you might stand a chance. Lose the H anchor and give us an afterburner.
Undocking.
But that is what they're giving us. So I'll show you some destroyer gameplay. I don't anticipate doing well. I'm going to warp to 0 because if I warp at range, well, firstly, I mean the range on these is low. And secondly, I won't be able to actually get there. I mean, look at this, it takes so long. I mean, I assume it'll all be dead by the time I get there. And so even with the micro warp, I mean, I'm just not. I can't compete with these. Yep. So anyway, that's the destroyers. I'm not going to put myself through any more of it. Don't bother. I'm going to go back to playing with the lincursus assault. We'll finish off with a bit of that. See if that's any better. Well, I mean, see, that's a bit of fun. Love this lincursus, much better ship for this. Anyway, so hopefully those things helped understand the basics of this game mode. I think, you know, it's a good foundation to add more things on. There's obviously tweaks to be made. You know, it'll be exciting to see what else comes. So in no means am I criticising what's here. I think, you know, we want content. We need content. So I think that's all great.